Welcome back to NJBI is Money Your Business. I'm Bob Considine. Well, the 9th Annual Women Business Leaders Forum, powered by NJBIA, takes place on September 27th and September 28th. This is the state's largest women business networking event, featuring more than 50 speakers and panelists who seek to inspire and empower. And one of those noteworthy presenters is Shakira Johnson, the founder and chief impact officer of Maple and Monroe, and she is here with us today. Shakira, nice to see you.
Thank you for having me. It's an honor.
All right, so I mentioned before we talked about Women's Business Leaders Forum, I did mention Maple Monroe. What is this organization? What is this company that you've started?
So Maple and Monroe is a social impact think and do tank.
Think and do tank.
Yes,
I love
think
that.
and do tank, because we think about it, but we're doing it too.
Right.
And really our mission is to help business catalyze their impact through innovative and sustainable ESG campaigns, initiatives, and events.
Right.
So this is for organizations that want to improve their ESG scorecard. This is for organizations that want to double down on their sustainability, or also just their social impact in the communities they serve.
All right. So ESG is environmental, social, and governance, right?
Absolutely.
All right, great. So before you had a company, it was called Johnson PR and Events, right? So is this an extension of that, or is this something different altogether?
It's an extension. It's a reimagination. And how we got here is that, so during 2020, like many of you, we were home with COVID, and I said, the world has changed forever. I knew it in my gut.
Right.
And I said, people are going to need more help than ever going forward. And if we're putting our blood, sweat, and tears into this company and the team, I want to do something that's really going to move the needle and help people. And so in that moment, started to really think about social impact and how we could help to double down on that. And social impact has always been a part of strategic communication, PR, but just a part of it. It was always my favorite part of PR.
Probably the part that's closest to you, maybe, is it perhaps?
Closest to my heart, because really this is my purpose. So really Maple and Monroe is the fulfillment of a career and really an opportunity to move my purpose into a global arena. And what do I mean by that is, so my background's marketing, social impact, like I said, strategic communications, public relations, community relations, all of those things, events. And now with all of those things, and then plus the expertise of the team, we're able to put that into initiatives and programs that help for corporations especially, but government entities and legacy nonprofits as well, to really double down and move the needle on their impact. So it's a reimagination. It's not necessarily a departure. For me, it's really the opportunity for us to impact even more people. In addition to helping corporations, we have an internal goal to positively impact 1 million people per year through these campaigns, initiatives, and events. So it's really more us leaning into social good, into social enterprise, and really being laser focused on the type of campaigns and the type of work that we want to do with companies, and doing it from a place of love, understanding that they're doing their best, but also from a place of accountability to say, absolutely, you will get your photo op, you will get your press release, it will go on the website, it will go on the blog, it will do all of those things, but also we need to really move the needle. And something we had talked about is that, so on paper, more than $20 billion a year is spent on corporate social responsibility. If you add in philanthropy and all of the other things, I really am thinking it's closer to $1 trillion a year is spent on social impact, philanthropy, all of the things, but yet most of the world's problems are actually getting worse. So we said, we can help with this. If the resources are there, the people are there, all those things are there. If we work with these entities, we can help them to either flex up their programs or shift their programs or help their leaders obtain buy-in, whatever it is that's needed to move it so that, yes, we again get all of the PR components, but at the end of the day, we see that communities have been impacted positively. Things have changed.
And you're moving the needle.
And we're moving the needle.
Do you find that, are you working with any corporations that really even started on this path yet of ESG, and you're starting from ground level?
Well, what I found is that most corporations have, at the minimum, some type of corporate social responsibility, foundation, philanthropy component, right? But what I would say is that in the past, a lot of it may have come from marketing. So a lot of the pieces were a marketing piece. So even if you think about DE&I, a lot of it, they may have been doing a supplier diversity or something like that, but it was more along the vein of marketing, respectfully.
Yeah, sure.
You know, and a lot of the other things were being done, but they were being done in more of a silo type of way. Really, going into the future, these initiatives will have to be part of the core competency and the culture of the organization, coming from the top down. It makes good business sense. Really, organizations that don't follow these principles are going to actually end up starting to be phased out because new consumer behavior demands it. You know, I think about my daughter. I just started to allow her to wear makeup. That's a whole nother conversation. But
is this summer we're talking about?
This is not summer.
Okay.
It's Jasmine, who had a volleyball game, so she wasn't able to be here. But she wears a small indie brand of makeup. She doesn't wear the same makeup that I wear. And that's by her choice because of they don't have as much packaging. They don't test on animals.
So it's mission driven.
It's mission driven for her. And she's going to continue that into an adult. And so consumer behavior is changing where consumers are really demanding that companies are part of the solution as opposed to just being, oh, well, we're not involved with that or we don't speak to that. So there's that one piece. And then the next piece has to do with employees and employee engagement and retention. Employees are saying, I see what they're putting on the website. That's not what's happening. You know, I see what they're putting in these glossy reports. That's not what's happening. And employees are leaving because of that. You know, gone are the days where people would just be somewhere because they had to be. Now people want to work where they feel as though it connects to their personal legacy and their personal beliefs. And then lastly, investors are really doubling down on this. It's actually called impact investing. But it's this idea of what are these ESG scorecards saying? What are they doing? It's a way for them to manage risk because they also understand that, again, if you're not taking these things into consideration, your consumers or your constituents, eventually you're going to lose market share. You're not going to be able to retain top talent. So for them, it's a way of managing risk. So it's investment, it's employees, and it's consumers or clients. All are really demanding that we move in this direction.
And when you put all that together, and that's a lot of stuff, must improve the financial picture for these companies.
Absolutely. It's a no-brainer. You're going to make more money. You're going to be able to retain your talent. Just think about how much it costs when you are turning over employees, especially when they're in the leadership positions. And then also investment, if you want to scale, if you want to grow your business, if you want to go into new markets, right? We talked about us going global and really being able to help people all around the world. But think about if you're trying to expand to other countries, you just can't go there, build a factory, do this, do that. You have to take in mind what's happening with the people, and you're going to have to create some type of infrastructure there that positively raises up that community. Again, gone are the days of just taking. Now we're moving into a golden age of love and giving and support for humanity.
That is very good information, and it's a lot to take in. But you said something interesting about events, and I was wondering, are events part of an ESG initiative?
Absolutely. Events should be a part of an ESG initiative because it's an opportunity, number one, for you to bring your community together. So rather these are internal events or they're external events. It's a way for you to connect with people in a way that you can't really connect in other ways. It's also an excellent opportunity for you to meet your constituents, meet your employees, meet your investors, whoever that population is, and hear from them. Hear what they're saying, hear what their feedback is. But, you know, my background being PR, strategic comms, it's also an opportunity for you to really storytell and communicate your initiatives and your vision, your goals, what you've done. What I've also found with many companies is that they have done things. They are looking to move the needle. However, that story is not getting out. The story, they're just the storytelling component of how you get that out, especially in the local community. is not really there. So that community engagement piece a lot of times is missing.
Yeah.
So it may be happening again on that internal blog or on maybe a newsletter. It may be happening somewhere, but it's not really touching people. Events allow you to really tell that story visually through the different type of printed materials or digital materials that you have there, the speakers that you have there. It also allows you to tell that story through, again, just being able to showcase people, the numbers. This is how much we've given. This is how much we've done. Yeah. It also allows for you to have success stories to come, right? So if there are organizations or institutions or people that your company has helped, you can bring them to those events and then they can share those stories there, and then people can meet and greet with them. And you get really that grassroots credibility that's important.
Right. And very good. Do you say you're expanding globally? I heard something about Africa. Are we going to bring this to Africa?
This is going to Africa. You heard it here first.
Right on, minding your business.
You heard it here first. Thank you for sharing. Yes, we are looking for markets in Africa. Africa being close to my heart, as it is the continent that I actually did my DNA and found out that 5,000 years ago, my DNA is from a village in Africa. Okay. So it's close to my heart in that it's part of my actual lineage. Right. But also Africa is a very wealthy, diverse continent. There's so much growth opportunity there. It actually has the largest young population in the world. Right. So it's going to be the most populated continent. And it's an opportunity for businesses that are looking to expand there to do so with integrity. It's also an opportunity for us to really help populations that are there on the ground.
Very good. And we should go over this. We only have a few minutes left, but you have a book, your first book coming out. When is this coming out? What's it going to be about?
So the name of the book is Over the Veil, 21 Keys for Leaders Who Want More. Okay. And what I have found in just being a confidant and a support to leaders for more than 20 years, rather they've been elected officials, CEOs, COOs, all of those things, as great as their titles are, their power, they are people. They are humans, right? And so they go through many of the other things that other people go through, but they may not have, I would say, the opportunity to always share that publicly. Right. That being said,
that's good.
Yeah,
that's nice.
I would get a lot of questions just about, one COO was saying, I'm having trouble sleeping. Just different things, or people who they've been doing things at this point 10, 20, 30 years, and they're like, it's been great, but I want more. So really, again, going back to 2020, I went through a personal shift. I found my bliss in 2020 in terms of just moving from just, if I will, going through the motions to living in my purpose. Yeah. And so it's these 21 keys that are tested, that I've personally done, that will help people to shift more into a purpose-driven life. That's great. And they're simple. You can do 1, you can do 10, you can do 21. Right. They're from a place of love. There's no judgment in it, but just tangible takeaways that people can do when they are saying, I want more. Yeah. And while that feeling can be very uncomfortable, it's actually a call for more in our life. So when we start feeling like, I want more, there's gotta be more, something's off, it can be uncomfortable, but it's actually the call to go greater and to do more. And this book really just is a simple telling of practical things you can do to have more out of life.
Oh, we can't wait for it to come out. We'll definitely promote it once it comes out.
Thank you.
Well, let's talk about, as we close today, the Women Business Leaders Forum, NJBIA's 9th annual Women Business Leaders Forum, September 27th and 28th. You're going to be there. You're going to be working on a panel called Finding Your Bliss, ironically enough. What do you hope to get out of it?
Well, more what I would love is for the audience to leave with takeaways to find their bliss. So for those who are, again, feeling that there's more, I want more, for them to leave with practical tools that they can do to find their bliss. And for those who already have found their bliss, to be able to double down on it. Because as you know, it's not a destination, it's a journey, right? Yeah. So we really want to have people to leave with takeaways that they can do in their lives. And actually just yesterday, We had the conversation with all the panelists,
Yeah.
fantastic group. And we have structured it so that the attendees have participation in it also. Because as great as it is that I'm here, I'm honored, and that I'm doing the panel, NJBIA's network is, you know, top of the tops.
Yep.
Any of the women in that audience could be on the panel, right?
Yeah.
So we really want to create almost a round table where we're able to learn from one another. So we want the audience to feel like they're a part of it, but again, we really just want everyone to leave with takeaways of what they can do to find their bliss.
Right. This has been great. Shakira Johnson, Maple Monroe. Go check her out at the Women's Business Leaders Forum. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Same here. It's been awesome.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining us on NJBI is Minding Your Business. We'll see you next time.